ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of the Skate Addict TV podcast. We ride, we vibe, and now we listen, man. What do y'all know about the Tampa Soul Roll? If you don't know anything, Tampa Soul Roll was one of my first skate parties before I knew what skate parties ever were. It's a phenomenal time that happens down in Tampa, Florida, of course. Every January, it's the first party that kicks off the year. So today on the show, we got Andrea, who is one of the coordinators of the Tampa Soul Roll. You might see her all the time rolling. She's super supportive, going to almost every skate party that I can ever imagine. But she usually just be chilling. But we got her here, on the show to give more insight, not only about herself, but what exactly is Tampa Soul Roll, how did it come about, and some surprises that we got coming up this year. But before we get to that and we go to the commercial break, if you are interested in being on the Skate Addict TV podcast as an interview and if you want to get your story out there, learn some history about your party, make sure you email the kid at skateaddicttv@gmail.com and we can get you on the show. But we're going to cut to this commercial break and get right into Andrea. I see y'all in a minute, though. Ahaaaa! What's good, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Josh from Skate Addict TV. If you have any kind of brand, business, or event that's coming up and you want to promote it on Skate Addict TV podcast, make sure you email skateaddicttv@gmail.com so we can get you on the show. But until then, make sure you go follow Skate Addict TV on Instagram where we ride, we vibe, and we party. Ahaaaa! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So we have a pioneer in Florida. We have Miss Andrea, one of the coordinators of the famous Tampa Soul Roll out of Tampa, Florida, man. If you haven't been to a Tampa Soul Roll, you need to come because it's the first party of the year. And it's always popping because, it's always sunshine and flowers and heat down here in Florida, man. So we got her on the show today, man, to kind of help give some insight just about her skate journey. Also, just information about Tampa Soul Roll that's coming up in January. So I hope you got your tickets. What's good, Andrea? What's happening? Welcome to the show.
Doing all right. I'm so happy to be here and talk about Tampa Soul Roll, talk about me as a person, as a skater, and just, share my skate journey, my life experiences for those who don't know me or not familiar with me. So that way you can get to know me.
And that's the whole point of the podcast. So if y'all probably see Andrea all the time, and she real chill, she real low key, she skate, she go home, but she be at every skate party promoting and promoting and supporting. So like tell everybody a little bit about yourself. Like who is Andrea?
Andrea is from Tampa. I'm born and raised. I am a true Floridian. So some people, they migrate from other places to Florida, but I am a true Floridian. Lived in Tampa all my life. My family is here. Some of my close friends are here. I've all done a lot of volunteer work here in Tampa. So Tampa is my home. It's always going to be 813, baby. But I am an individual. I love to get involved in the community, and not just the skate community. I also used to be a volunteer for Big Brothers and Big Sisters. So volunteering, supporting, giving back in some shape or form has always been my background, is a passion that I actually love to do. I haven't had a chance to volunteer as much because I have a crazy work schedule and other things going on. But before I really got into skating in my early 20s, I actually started when I was 18, was in high school. I'd done a lot of volunteer work to get my community service hours. And then it just kind of just stuck with me as an adult. And I absolutely love it. This is a part of my life, and I love supporting or doing anything I can for the skate community or anything that would make my community better as a whole.
So when you talk about community service, it takes like a really special individual to like give their time in such a way when it comes to community. So what got you into I'm big on service. Like what led you to that path?
I think because seeing the results and making a difference. There was a previous company I used to work for in Tampa, and they had a community service project. It's called Paint Your Heart Out Tampa Bay, where you go to an elderly or a disabled person's home and you help paint their home because they may not have the money to afford to pay for it.
Oh, that's
So
dope.
they have this program here in Tampa, and that's something that they do. They get a lot of corporate sponsorships, they get a lot of donations to provide this service to the elderly and the disabled, or those who are less fortunate to have their house painted. And that was one of the most memorable experiences I've ever experienced,
Yeah, that's dope.
to actually do that and actually see the results. And I love getting involved in any type of walks. I've done breast cancer walks, heart walks, any type of walks that support any type of health journey. March of Dimes is one of them for premature babies. I've got involved in such of those, and the results are actually really, really real. And I've seen a lot of these companies that have these type of walks actually physically use the proceeds for research or use the
Hmm.
proceeds to donate to a hospital for new medical equipment or whatever it is that they are supporting. And also it supports a lot of health awareness. Believe it or not, heart disease really affects the African American community, high
Big
blood
time.
pressure. So anything dealing with that to help promote better health, I'm all for it. I'm
I
all
mean
for
that's dope because I don't know. This is a fun fact, but I'm a pharmacist, so it's like I completely understand what you're talking about, especially when it comes to like the African American community. Because here in Orlando, we have like Eatonville, which
it.
is like one of the oldest Black African American historic cities, and I used to teach back there just like regular things that plague our community, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, the sugar,
Yes.
and it's just like it's so many things that plague us just through our diets and through what we were taught back in the day. So it's like something like like the heart walk and things along that nature, they're really important. And I would love to see more of us actually do these walks to kind of help promote it, because a lot of us are not making it just simply because we're having strokes and heart attacks because we don't want to put the hog
Mhm.
mogs down, you know what I mean?
I know. I know. Oh
but
my.
that's but that's super dope. I didn't know you was
Mhm.
doing so much community. Like, so have you ever thought about like from a skating standpoint, doing something from a community standpoint? I mean, this is away from Tampa Soul Roll. We'll get to that. But just in regards to like some type of community service event that does with skating or having skaters do things, have you done something along that nature or thought about it?
I have thought about it. I haven't had the opportunity. But I know there's numerous of cancer walks. Like every single month is some type of cancer or health
Mm-hmm.
awareness month. So I know April is coming up as autism awareness.
Okay.
October obviously is breast cancer
Breast
awareness.
cancer.
September is, leukemia awareness. So there's different months. And I think something in the fall probably will be great. Tampa has a lot of breast cancer walks. And then in
Really?
November, they do a lot of heart walks. So I've always wanted to do one. I haven't thought about it as much, but that is something that I do want to accomplish on my plate is coordinating, some skaters to participate in some type of health awareness walk. And we may not even have to walk. We could bring our skates and,
That's it.
entertain and get people involved that way. Because roller skating is a physical activity that can help you stay healthy. So why
Absolutely.
not use, our talents and our abilities at these type of walks and venues? And you never know who you might meet. They might be willing to come out and support whatever the case may be. So it is on my radar to do. It
That's
is.
dope. That's super dope. Now with the walks, are they usually like on the water or on the bay per se? Or are they like within the city, like on what's y'all downtown called? Yeah, don't
You
have me
mean like
body,
on
y'all.
Bayshore Boulevard in
Is
Tampa?
is that
That's
is that where the walks are usually?
no. So they have several throughout the city. It just depends on where they're going to be. Where they actually have the roads blocked off. Now St. Pete does a real big breast cancer walk. I believe it's 3 days.
Hmm.
I think it's a 3-day walk or something like that. But
Oh,
in Tampa, when they do the heart walks or any type of walks, some of them are downtown and they do have roads blocked off and everyone can participate. Your team, make sure your team registers and you can say, hey, my team, we want to raise $1,000 for the American Heart Association or whatever the case may be. And they have that information like well in advance, but they usually start putting it out like almost six months in advance. So
oh
we just
wow.
passed November. So they will put it out again for Tampa when they're
Oh,
gonna do the Heart Walk.
okay. That's super dope. So in regards to this, so we transition a little bit to from Tampa. So Tampa's home, Tampa's love,
Yes.
and so like where did your skate journey like start from? Because I mean you doing so much community service, so I mean I can understand just how much time that takes. So when did you start to find the time like let me what the skating scene looks like? You say you started like around 18.
Yeah, I started at 18, like right after I graduated from high school. Me and one of my close friends, we was like, let's go skating. I was like, all right, cool. So we went one Sunday and we really enjoyed ourselves. This was back in 2006.
Mhm.
The Sunday night session in Tampa had recently started. So me and my friends, we started going, had a wonderful time. Then I think within like a month or two, we brought our first pair of skates, and I have not looked back. Some of my friends, they've had to stop because, they got married, they had kids,
Yeah,
other
it
life,
happens.
things. It happens. But, for me, I just kept going. I just kept going.
So there's because there's always been a thing because I know Orlando specifically, like their skate scene has just been beginning to blossom probably over like the last 3 to 5 years, I want to say. But they said I've always heard that Tampa has always had some type of big community in the Tampa area. So how was it like when you first started, like the community that was in Tampa, in regards to like rhythm skating? Or did you start off rhythm skating or did you start off jam skating and then went into rhythm skating?
Actually, I just start off regular skating,
Okay.
just trying to get the basics. I did have my first pair of speed skates, but I wasn't into just, the jam skating. I just wanted to skate. And
Mhm.
then as I've traveled over the years, I kind of just got into, finding my own rhythm, finding my own style. And I've actually, I would say probably since 2011, because I started getting into the Cali style. I had my first pair of Stacy's.
Whoa,
Some
you got some fibers?
I
What?
had some. So her name is Candy. She's part of the Two Raw skate club in Sacramento, and she gave me an old pair of her Stacy's that I had. And I did that for a couple of years before I transitioned into actual Rydell boot. But once I for a couple of years, yeah, I was skating in my Stacy's like all.
What? You
Yes.
was a Stacy skate, a Cali?
Yes,
What?
there is. Okay, so there's this picture I have to show you. I was at Soul Skate 2014, and I was sliding through the middle, and somebody caught me in action. They sent me the actual picture, and I was in my fibers, and it was really
What?
dope. It was really dope. I still have it to this very day. It's still one of my favorite pictures.
So what made you, so is it, do you still have them? Is something that you just don't do anymore? Like if you threw some on, you
No,
can still get jiggy in them like
I need to get another pair. I need to reach out to Pete from Skate Fanatics and get me a setup.
mhm.
But I've always wanted to like, go back and like slide with it. I just haven't got the urge to like go actually buy some Stacy's. But I'm pretty sure if I put them back on, I think I'll be fine. I mean, I might struggle a little bit, but I think eventually I'll get back into the rhythm
And I,
of
I
doing something.
and I think that's one of the dope things just about Florida in general. You like you can find every style here, just
Hmm.
about. And what I'm starting to see more and more people like picking up Stacy's here. Like I know a
Hmm.
couple people. I know a couple girls here at the rink in Orlando. I want to say it's like 2 or 3 people that has
Yeah.
picked up some fibers that are starting to switch over a little bit, and it's a really unique style,
Yes.
very unique. So like why switch the style? I know you got, I know it's because you got the boot, or you were just looking for something else. I guess I don't want to say more challenging, but there's something different. Like what was that change up?
I don't think it was I just wanted to try something different
Hmm.
and kind of like just have a little bit of everything. So once I kind of like got the Stacy's, and I was traveling a lot, going to Icy Hot, going to California, seeing how it is, I really got into it. And I think I was started to, kind of tap in the New York, New Jersey style, because then I
Mm.
eventually started going up there a little bit more often when Hot Skates was open. So when Hot Skates was open, I think I went up there like a couple of times a year for like a few years. And DJ.
Let me put a pin there. What's hot skate? I don't know. I don't know, and I'm pretty sure people that's listening don't know. But put what's hot skate? I need to know. I need to know.
So Hot Skates was a skating rink. It was open in New York. It was on Long Island. The New York skate community, they had other skating rinks previously, but they had closed down. So Hot Skates was like a new home for them.
Mhm.
So I visited, I want to say back in 2014 was my first time actually going to Hot Skates, and I had an absolutely wonderful time. And I think that's where I end up kind of getting more into the New York, New Jersey style.
Mhm.
So I think I visit Hot Skates maybe a couple of times a year for like several years. The breast cancer awareness party that Rolling Out Entertainment from New York, they
Don't they
had
still
their.
do that?
Yes, they still
Yeah, they
have
still
it,
do
but
that
it's
one.
just,
Yeah.
yeah, they still do their breast cancer awareness, just not at that rink because Hot
Okay.
Skates is closed.
Gotcha.
But I would go up there for that, and then Arson would have like Super Saturdays on
Mhm.
like either the fourth or the fifth Saturday of the month, and I went to a couple of those before. The Young Gunners, it was DJ Ray Rose and DJ D. They used to do Friday nights at Hot Skates too, and I went there a couple of
Mm.
times. So I had an absolutely wonderful time going up there, and I think that's what ended up I transitioning probably like 2014, kind of transitioning to like the New York, New Jersey style, and I loved it.
So with New York, New Jersey, because that seems like that's one of the more dominant styles that's in Florida. Between New York, New Jersey, now upcoming like JB
JB and
or
Snap.
like and Snap are probably like the two, three styles that are like duking it out. But I think New York, New Jersey probably reigns. Is it what is it? What excuse me, when I say what is it? I guess what was it about New York, New Jersey that made you go over from the Cali style to New York, New Jersey? Was it just the music? Was it just the community? Was it just the vibes? Like what was it about that style? It's like, you know what? I'm gonna put these fibers in the closet. I'm gonna pull out these boots and see what they're talking about.
I think it was the energy. I personally already knew a lot of skaters from that area.
Mhm.
Back when there was a skate party, it's not in existence anymore, but it was called Winterfest, and it was in New Jersey. And there was a skating rink. It was called Skate 22. And the first time I went there, I saw their energy, I saw the dynamic, and I saw a lot of things. I was like, oh, wow, this is actually a pretty dope style. It was back in
Mhm.
2010, but I didn't, make up my mind until probably about like 2014, like a couple of years later. And I think ever since I've always traveled up there, I always got the love, the support, their energy, someone always willing to teach me, show me something. I think
Mhm.
that's what really made me decide to like transition over.
Okay. So would you feel like if it was more of a community of the Cali style where in Florida, or you went over there more, I guess to the Cali side or the west side, would you have stuck with it more? So was it more of the support from the New York, New Jersey style along with the energy, or like the community
I
build?
think it was just, truthfully, it was just always easy for me to get up there. Like,
Mm. Yeah, so it's go you can
California,
drive,
the
you know.
tickets are a little bit high, but
You-
back then I would always fly on JetBlue, because JetBlue has a hub up there, so they would fly nonstop from Tampa to JFK.
Oh,
So it was
okay.
always easy for me to get up there, or I would fly on Southwest Airlines and fly from Tampa to Long Island because Southwest flew out of Long Island. So it was easy for me to, get to the skating rink because I flew into Long Island and, pick up a rental car and then I would just drive. So
Mhm.
I think for me, it was more easier to get up there because it was just like a 2.5 to 3 hour flight there and then come right back. It was
Okay.
it was more
That makes sense.
manageable. Not to mention some of the skaters that I personally developed relationships up there. You know, I done slept in somebody's basement. Somebody was like, "Oh, Andrea, you could come just sleep on the couch." Like, I've personally know quite a few people that live up there, and
Mm.
I always have a home every time I go up there. So I think that's what also allows it. Not saying that I wouldn't have a home when I go to California, because I know some California skaters too, but
Mhm.
it is a hike to get there.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a process.
going to New York, or going there, period, is easy. I can go up there for a weekend, then take the first flight out on Monday, get back home, go to work. It's a little bit easier. California, you got
Layovers, you got
layover. Yeah, plus
time, go back.
yeah, sometimes it's not a direct flight. So it just was, honestly, it was just like easier to get up there. And then once I just started to, network with more and more skaters up there, it was just easy for me to always get up there and, spend quality time with them, hang out with them, or just getting to know them individually. And I think that's what made me draw it a little bit closer, because I
Mhm.
was able to, get up there a little bit more often, and it was cost effective. It was.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I hinted at it a little bit earlier before this previous question that I asked. So like it seems like it's once again when you started, you're really big in community, and it was also the community in New York, New Jersey that I guess you could conform to New York, New
Mhm.
Jersey style. So, but living in Tampa and learning how to or beginning your skate journey in Tampa, I hear about like there was once upon a time a big huge skate culture that was in the Tampa area. Now it's still a really big skate culture, but they said that it was very different. So how was the Tampa area or the Florida Tampa skate culture before? But when I gotta say before when you first started skating, let's say that.
When I first started skating, I would say we had more, I want to use the right terminology. I would say we had a little bit more togetherness, and
Mm,
we had a little bit more supporting each other for different functions, if that makes sense. So, like, let's say somebody was having a birthday party,
mhm.
then all of us would show up for the birthday party. If someone
Okay.
said, "Hey, we're going to go to this event," then all of us would show up and go to this event. We
Mm,
actually, network with each other. Parking lot pimping was real big back then. When I say hanging out in the parking lot till 4, 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, yes,
nah.
they did do
Mm-mm,
that.
mm-mm,
Yes,
mm-mm.
they
I'm
did do
going
that.
home.
Um, One of the skaters, which some people may know, Ricky, every time he has his turkey fry, I mean, everybody would come out and would vibe. We would bring our skates there, and that was another opportunity for us to kind of get to know each other and hang out. Numerous of people have had numerous events, such as birthday parties, anniversary parties, weddings, whatever the case may be, and they would always invite the skate community to come out. And
Mhm,
we've always kind of done it that in Tampa. And we network with each other, we support each other through life experiences. And so I think that's what really made the difference back then, because we were always supporting each other, even outside of skating, trying to get to know each other outside of skating through
mhm.
numerous events. And I think that's what really, really kind of kept most of us around and kept us going, because it was the togetherness, and it was something that we all in love, joy, and doing. I think now that it's kind of geared more a little bit younger,
Mhm.
they don't really have a lot of life experiences going on. They working, and then they going skating.
Right,
Some of
that's
they may
fair.
not. That's fair enough. So I think it's still there. It's just in a different. It's just in a different way.
Right.
And the people definitely make a difference. We need the younger community and newer skaters coming in to, like, keep it going, because some of our older skaters they're ready to retire. They got grandkids. They want to travel the world, so they're
Mhm.
not able to come out as much as more. And I think that's the difference too, is now we have newer and younger energy coming into the rink, and it does help.
Yeah.
It's a
I mean,
little
this
couple of
different energy.
challenges.
Mm.
Yeah, different energy, and it's different energy to kind of keep the thing going. It really is.
Yeah, because what it sounded like, at least from me picking up from things that I hear around in the community, it seems like the the biggest cultural influences in Florida were Tampa and probably Jacksonville. Because I say, you know, South Florida wasn't really have didn't really have a big skate scene, or probably
Yeah.
over like the last 2 or 3 years they've been coming up. And then the
Yes.
same thing with Orlando. We used to come over to Tampa and do a lot of skating, especially like on a Sunday night at United Skates and all that good jazz. So with do you think because the arena of skating is growing so much in Florida that like we don't have to travel to Tampa anymore. We don't have to travel to Jacksonville. Has that caused a little bit of a level of I don't want to say separation. I don't want to say that, but I will say that like I don't have to cope in Tampa anymore to skate. So has that kind of altered that community that I guess you can say that used to be there at one point in time?
I would say a little bit because the reality is, everyone wants some type of regular successful skate session in their city that they can go
Hmm.
to and enjoy.
Absolutely.
Um I personally wouldn't have been able to be a skater in Orlando and have to come to Tampa every single Sunday. I would have had to like make a sacrifice. I was like, look, I can't go every single Sunday. That's gas,
Right.
it's time,
Gas
other
ain't
things
cheap.
come up. So I totally understand, and I think it's great that we have the sessions, because we do need the sessions for people to come, interact, enjoy, learn, grow from each other in skating, and it can also be outside of skating. So I do appreciate that there are other cities that have their sessions to support their community that's there, so their
Hmm.
community can grow from those sessions. The only thing I would say, I hope we just don't oversaturate it, because sometimes that can
Yes.
also
Yes.
be an issue where you just have too many sessions, and now people are picking and choosing, okay, well, which session I'm gonna go to? Are you going to this session? Sometimes that can kind of create a little bit, I won't say confusion, but it's like, okay, are we going to have the people to support these sessions? If we're going to have so many, we do need to have the people. But I am all for every major city here to have their own skate session at least once or twice a week.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely. I think I
Unfortunately, this is not Chicago, St. Louis, where you can skate, or Atlanta 6, 7 days a week. We just don't have that
everybody
capability.
booming, right?
Yes, but at least one or two, maybe even 3 nights a week. I think that's fair. But again, in order to have all those sessions, you need to have the people to, support them. You need to have the
Yeah,
people
because
to
I because
support
I can't I can imagine like what you have seen since you've been skating. Because I mean I've been in this community for like 3 years, and I mean from the business standpoint and the numbers standpoint, I have seen the numbers change drastically over the skate nights that we've had. Because we at one point in time, at least here in Orlando, we had, you know, first and third Saturday, and then we will have sometime and we'll have Tampa on Sunday. But now it's like we got wins. Well, technically it's like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and a Sunday session now. And you can just see the numbers kind of teeter totter back and forth, up and down. It's just like, okay, like, all right, what's going on? It's just like because we want to be able to, I'll keep it a buck. I would rather have less sessions and have one or two people do the sessions so they can get the numbers, so they can do bigger events and bigger things at the particular party. But to have it stretched out over so many different people, I feel like it can kind of hinder the process in so many ways too. So but I don't know. It's that's just really my opinion on it, because it's like I would rather, like you were saying, the big thing that was in Tampa was the togetherness. And it's I don't want to say that sometimes you have to pick and choose, but you know, you can go to every session, but every session costs money. You know, you got so many tolls here in Orlando, so some tolls add up. Those
I'll be
tolls add
getting
up,
mad when the Central Florida Expressway be sending me that bill. I'll be like, because
bruh.
I do toll by plate. I'm like, just send me the
Oh,
bill. Just send me the bill.
don't do that. Why you don't got no sun pass?
I have the e-pass, but I always forget I gotta reload it.
Oh, you tripping? I remember one time I was doing pay by plate, and I got that $800 bill. And
Oh, I never.
yes, it was like an $800 bill.
For the whole year or for like.
This was like, because I be traveling all over the place for work and stuff like that. So I used to drive and I have a toll road right by my house, and it's like $1 and some change there, and then it's like $1 and change back. So it's like $250 per day. So you do that, 5 days a week. I mean, along with the other tolls, I mean, it adds up. Man, I had like a $846. Something, it was around that way. They was
Yeah.
like, they would say, if you can sign up with ePass today, you can cut it by half. So I went from SunPass to ePass, and had to get that paid off, because they won't let you renew your license and none of that stuff if you don't
Yeah,
pay
you
it.
can't renew
So,
your tag. It's your tag.
but that's wild though. You need, I don't know, you must got big money. Let me hold $1, Andrea, because you out here with paying
No,
told by
a
told by plate.
hardworking American citizen. I'm just still a hardworking American citizen.
But no, I say that to say this. It's just like I to have it more concentrated, to have the events bigger, to have more. And I think I think ultimately what I'm saying is that I enjoyed it when we were all in the rink at the same time.
Yes.
You know what I mean? There's it's okay to have several nights, especially when you like, practicing and so on and so forth. That's cool. But that energy hits different when you got 200, 250, maybe 300 people in the rink, because we don't get to do this every other week, versus like 25 here, 50 here, maybe, 13, whatever the case is. It's like
Right.
the energy is different. The energy is different.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really interesting. It's really interesting to see. So I can only imagine what you've seen from like the dynamics of the OGs that used to be in the rink, and now that everybody's just kind of all these different changes that are happening. So I can't even imagine what you have seen, not only as a skater but also as a coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
So I can only imagine how your brain wires things. So in regards to, like, so how did you get started with Tampa Soul Roll?
So, I'm gonna give a little bit of a history so
Give it
people can
give it to
understand.
us. Give it to us.
So, Salita Coleman had originally started the Tampa Soul Roll Party along with another person in Tampa. His name was Doc, but he passed away some years ago. But she pretty much had coordinated and put the party together for a couple of years here in Tampa. The last Tampa Soul Roll was in 2013. I think she had recently had a baby, or she was getting ready to have one. It was somewhere along those lines. I think she recently had a baby. So she kind of had, took off from doing the party and kind of gave it to Al to kind of take over.
Mhm.
So in 2014, there wasn't even a Tampa Soul Roll party. It was just a regular extended session Sunday night at United Skates, like it's always been. And then after that, we had parking lot pimping. So then after that after that session that year, Al was like, hey, let's get together so we can put the Tampa Soul Roll party back together. And he asked me, Titus, and Kevin to be a part of the team. So it's five of us, but it's mainly the four of us. We live here in Tampa, and then me and Al, we're both from Tampa, born and
Mhm.
raised. We're the original Tampa folks. So after that, we kind of started back up again, trying to promote and kind of going through those early stages. So 2015 was the first Tampa Soul Roll that the four of us had done, but it was still an annual event, and we just kept learning from, okay, hey, this worked, this didn't work. I learned from numerous of other coordinators about the hotel contracts, how they need to be written, and what we need to do. So numerous of people have helped me with that. I kind of took on that piece, and then we just gradually kept growing. Okay, this is working. We're going to keep this. This is not working. We're going to get rid of this. So we just kind of kept on keeping the minimum, keeping it going. For
Mhm.
me, I'm all about developing relationships. So, I was the traveler. Al, he was able to travel to some stuff. Titus would always go to the Chicago party and network with people. So we each have like our own strengths of what we bring to the table. And so now I pretty much have I do all of the social media. Like I'm the one that runs the Instagram page and the Facebook page. Titus kind of handles the website and other stuff that needs to be changed. And we each have our own different strengths that we bring and how we put the party together.
Mm-hmm.
um so that is pretty much the abbreviated version of the history of the party. So it was pretty much passed down from one person to another person, and that person, Al, he wanted to bring in a core team of people to kind of help. We do have like an extended team that help us throughout the whole entire weekend. But as far as all of the planning, all of the contract negotiations, making sure we have the proper insurance, making sure our social medias are updated, making sure we're
Mm.
responding back to people's emails, people's Facebook messages, Instagram messages. The four of us, we kind of handle that ourselves.
Okay, so I mean let's scale back a little bit. That was a mouthful. That was a big one. So was Tampa Soul Roll initially? Was it like a 3 day long thing, or was it just the extended night that you mentioned before?
It was always an actual 3 day weekend. It was
Okay,
just that
okay,
particular year we just didn't have
okay.
the party. It was just called MLK weekend, skate. But it was always a 3 day weekend. We've even had people come down and teach classes. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Richard Humphrey, but he's done quite a few
Really?
classes. Yes, at Tampa Soul Roll. We've also gone to other rinks and had an actual session there. So back in 2012, Salida had coordinated a bus, and we went to a rink that was like, I want to say like 45 minutes to an hour away. It's called Spin Nations, and it's in Newport Richie. It's a really
Mhm.
big rink. And we went there Thursday night, and Richard Humphrey was there. Miss T from Detroit, rest her soul, she passed away. She was always a big supporter of coming down to Tampa Soul Roll. So we've also had that experience. Numerous of DJs have DJ'd Tampa Soul Roll. We've had DJ Now before in the past. We had Tone has DJ'd in the past. Jammin is back on the party, but Jammin was on the party back in 2013. Arson also was a DJ. DJ Spin. I'm not sure if a
Oh
lot of
wow.
people are familiar with DJ Spin, DJ Wiz.
Yeah,
He
y'all had
has
some
completely
hitters. Oh my goodness.
DJ Wiz retired, but he was also a DJ. DJ Joe Bowen, DJ Ken Smalls from Detroit has also DJ Tampa Soul Roll. So
Man.
we've had lots of DJs that have came and DJ our party. The party has gone through lots of changes, especially with the hotel. We were originally by the airport. We was at the Marriott, but now we're at the Fairfield Inn in the Homewood Suites out in Brandon now. So things have always evolved, changed, and gotten better for the party.
So
It's
so when Salida had the party, and then it kind of went on this little year hiatus, and you came back and you said it started getting, you started making changes. So what would you say the biggest differences, and this is no shade, I mean it's just differences, right? So
Mhm.
what were the differences between the Salida era and the Andrea Al era? So what were some of like the differences and the changes that you guys made to keep the party going or make changes to what was happening?
I think for us, we really had to get our Florida skate community involved, and I think that's where a lot of people have to understand that you have to have your home team. So you have to have your home city and your home state involved. We try and we still do our very best to support other local events in our state, whether it might be in Orlando, Jacksonville, South Florida, Miami. We really try to do our best to make sure that we network and support other local events where they might be really, really big or might be really, really small. And I think
Mhm.
that's something that we eventually ended up doing while we were transitioning. There were always some sessions going on. So I believe Jacksonville, I think they still have it. They had like a second Saturday skate night We've
Mm-hmm.
gone up there a couple of times. We've always gone to first and third in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
We went to a few skate parties in Miami. This was back when Victor and a couple of other people had did a skate party in Miami during Memorial Day weekend. So we've gone down there, network with some of those, and make sure that we show our support there. And I think that was probably a little bit different because you want to have that connection, that interaction with a skater, so they
Mm-hmm.
know who you are as an individual. Because all of us, the four of us, we both live in Tampa. So we need people to know, like, hey, this is who we are. We are the ones that do the Tampa Soul Roll party. And I think now we travel a little bit more together. So usually me and Titus will be the two. We'll go to Chicago, anything local here in Florida. Him and I will go to. Sometimes Al or sometimes Kevin will go. Usually Labor Day weekend, myself and Al, we will be there, always supporting. So we're always trying to make sure that we're getting involved, and we try to show our support where we can
Mm-hmm.
together, at least if one of us or at least two of us. And I think it was last year, the three of us, we went to Lit Nation back in 20, I want to say it was 2022. Al, myself, and Kevin, and Salita was already there because she lived in the DC, Maryland area. And we
Okay.
went
Right. Right.
to Lit Nation to also promote Tampa Soul Roll. So that, I think that's a little bit different. Something that we actually do a little bit different is we try to get a little bit more involved in supporting our local, regional, and national skating events.
And since then, since you've been building the community within Florida and just putting Tampa Sorrow's name out there, how has the community reacted? And I want to say I want to talk about the Florida community specifically. How has the Florida community responded to those actions that the team has taken to put on for the city or put on for the state?
They have done very well. Like, they really have came out, supported, promoted Tampa Soul Roll by sharing a flyer, telling a friend, and I think that's really key that you have your home team to back you up, because you need your home team if you're building
Absolutely.
anything. You need your home team to support you, and they have always came through for us, and we've always been so appreciative of our home team, especially here in Tampa, to come out and support us and be make our party successful. Without them, it really wouldn't be as successful, because we support our home team, and we appreciate the support that they give us back.
Absolutely, absolutely. So as a coordinator, what has been some of the hurdles, or in some of the let's turn it around. We're going this What has been some of the positive moments,
Okay.
and what have been some of the opportunities in regards to being a coordinator? Because right now it seems like there's a skate party every weekend at this point now. So it's like with skating growing the way that it's growing, what have been some of the positives about that, and then what have been some of the hurdles in regards to planning a party around everybody who's having a skate party now?
So for Tampa Soul Roll, the positives are we definitely try to search for different venues that will work with us. We're very upfront. We're very upfront, like, hey, this is what we do. This is the type of crowd that we're going to have. This is how many people, we expect. We try to switch things up and be different. We try to think outside the box. For us, we just don't do the traditional meet and greets. We try to be a little bit different
Hmm.
when it comes to that. So I think that's what makes us a little bit different in a positive way, is we really try to think outside the box with our meet and greets. And that actually has been real successful. We've gotten great reviews. People still want us to go back to Carvana. And I was like, okay. I was like, well, we already did that. but it was such a hit. And then the Top Golf, we've done that was a real big hit. And we've done a lot of other different things that have
The
caught
picnic
people's attention.
always slaps though. The picnic
Yes,
always slaps.
picnic always. So I think, building relationships with business owners, other venues in a positive way, leaving on a good note has always helped Tampa Soul Roll. The hurdles that we have to face are going to be lodging for the hotel.
Mm,
Unfortunately, it is, how can I put it? It's snowbird season. So while it's very warm
January.
here, and it's cold elsewhere, everybody wants to come down here. I mean, don't even think about vacationing in Tampa during spring break because the rates are ridiculous. I mean, it's sky high. That is
Hold on,
one.
hold on, hold on, hold on, Andre. Let me put a pin in that. For those who don't know what snowbirds are, so in Florida, right?
That's what
It's
we call
warm.
them.
It's warm here every damn month. Just about. We probably get about out of 365, we probably get like 4 or 5 days of cold. So what happens is just that you normally get people who are from New York, New Jersey, or any kind of
The,
northern area.
any state where it's heavy snow,
Right, pretty
pretty
much.
much.
So during like I want to say October through like
November
March,
through March,
November
yes.
through like
Hmm.
March, April, we get a big, huge influx of people that are like they have secondary homes and stuff down here, and they
Or they
just
come
kind of
down here just vacation.
yeah, they live down there for like about 3 to 4 or 5 months, and then they go back home. But what that does, that increases traffic. The hotel rates are through the roof. You can't really get into no restaurants because everything's booked, and it's all types of craziness. So
Yeah.
those are what snowbirds are for all my listeners that are out there. I'm gonna take that pin out. It's back on you, Andrea.
So, and then the other hurdle is there's this big parade and it's very, very popular. It's kind of similar to Mardi Gras, but it's called Gasparilla. And it's also
Mm.
in January, but it's a couple of weeks after our party. Then there's a RV show, and it's usually the same weekend as Tampa Soul Roll. So you got all these people who have these real nice, fancy RVs. They do a RV show at the fairgrounds that's not too far away from our hotel and the rink. So we're competing against that. We're competing against other events that's going to get ready to come to Tampa in January, February. So the hotel rates, they have a tendency to go up. We would love to be at like a 109, 119 a night rate, but unfortunately
Never happened.
it's not going to happen.
Mm-mm.
So we usually encourage people, if you're not going to stay at the host hotel and it's a group of you all coming down, just get you an Airbnb and call it a day, because we unfortunately, there's no way we're ever going to get those rates that we did have back then some years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody's budgeting. Like, I've tried Marriott's, I've tried different Hiltons, different Holiday Inns, different Wyndham hotels, like every chain of brand of hotels I've gone through. And it's like, well, we could give you this. And it's kind of like, okay, well, can we do this? So we were able to get the rates this year in January. I think it was 139 a night and 149 a night. So
Oh,
that
that's
was
not
still
bad.
that
That's
was
not bad
still
at
pretty
all.
reasonable. So for people who are booking that's going to come in 2024, it's 149 and 159. And so
Okay.
we know we're going to have to eventually reevaluate, because the 159 is at the Homewood Suites.
Mm-hmm.
It is the rooms have full kitchens. They do have a happy hour on Thursday where they give out free beer and wine. They have free breakfast. So it is a little bit, worth the incentive. But we know they may try to go up, and we don't want to kind of go up too much. We
Mm-hmm.
still want the hotel rate to be a little bit reasonable. But that is really one of the biggest challenges, is the lodging, and then also the rink situation. So Astro and Brandon is pretty large, but we know eventually we're going to have to find another venue. If our party continues to get a little bit larger, we
Really?
are going to we're going to need to have another venue. Like, we're going to need the Astro in Orlando, that size rink. We're going to need that one day.
Really?
But yeah, we're already been talking about it. Honestly, we
So
really
it's
do.
gonna be Orlando Soul Roll. That's what we're turning into.
No, 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 no. It'll still be in Tampa, but we would need like a large venue to that capacity
Right.
to host a party, because we still want everyone to be safe. Safety has always been the priority. We want people to
Absolutely.
skate comfortably. So with more people, you do have to make more changes, and there's a possibility that we would have.
So Ember, can you hear me? I think we
Mhm.
I think okay. I think it froze a little bit. So with the Tampa Soul Roll, with the dates for the lodging, are we trying to keep it for the MLK weekend? Is that the goal? Why we try to keep it in that January time
Yes,
frame? Okay.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we have no desire to move. It really doesn't even make sense to move, because
You run
if
to
we
every other
move,
party after that.
we don't want to do that. And then on top of that too, we really can't move to any other weekend in January, because then we're still competing against other events that are going on in Tampa that has nothing to do with skating. And you're talking 100,000 people coming in town for a parade.
Yeah.
So we can't take those chances. And usually, like the last weekend in January we wouldn't be able to do anything. So we
Yeah.
actually have to stay MLK weekend, and it still would be the same weekend as the Tampa Bay Black Heritage Festival. So a lot of our skaters, when they come in town, they do like to go to that festival. So we want to try to maintain we stay that same weekend as well.
Okay. So as a coordinator, so I don't think the skaters really understand what it takes to throw a party. And there's a lot of new parties that are coming out that are, sometimes they're hit or miss. They're still growing. They're still trying to figure things out. So, and it trips me out when, like, the only thing they complain about is like, hey, the DJ didn't play our roll call long enough. But well,
I knew you
can
was gonna
you
say
can you give some insight on what it takes to actually throw a national party?
um planning in advance. And I'm not talking no 3-4 months, like a year in advance. Like, you really have to be on it early, especially with hotel rates. You want to make sure that your lodging for your skaters is reasonable. Two, venue, space, and availability. There are other people out there, other groups, other organizations. They may want to use the same venues as you, and you need to be ahead of the game, because if you're trying to have your party in the same weekend, but let's say the Kappas are having an event in your town, and they taking up all the venue space, you're not going to be able to get anything, because they're going to also be planning, an event early. They're going to be getting the
Mm,
ball rolling early.
mhm.
And then two, some of these venues, they want insurance requirements. That also costs money because of liability issues. So that's another thing you have to consider. Okay, if we have it at this venue, what is going to be the insurance cost? How much it is going for us to rent it out? Our new venue that we started, it took a little bit over 2 months for it to get approved. Like,
Oh
once
wow.
we said, hey, this is the date we want to use, blah, 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 blah. Then me and Al, we went to the venue, viewed the venue, submit the application online. You have to wait 5 to 7 business days for someone to review it. Then someone's going to review it. Then they're going to call you and ask you 1,000,001 questions, because that's exactly what happened. Hey, we saw that you said your event is going to have over 500 people. Are you going to need a deputy? Are you going to need a security? Are you going to be serving alcohol? Those are the type of things that you're going to go through if you're planning an event.
Mm,
Then we try to be very reasonable when it comes to our meet and greets. We really don't want people paying a lot of money for a meet and greet. The
mhm.
Top Golf was an exception, because obviously you're going to pay to go golfing. But
Right, right.
most of our meet and greets, we try to be fair and reasonable and not have to charge any money. So that's another thing too. Sometimes, if we're renting out the venue, it may cost a particular dollar amount where we're not going to charge to the skaters, but the coordinators, we're going to absorb the cost and make sure that we have the space that we need for the skaters. um the DJs, whoever we're going to decide to DJ our party, we want to make sure that they're available, because DJs have other events that they do
Right.
that's not skating related. Anniversary parties, weddings, birthdays, retirement parties, whatever it is, they might be booked, or they might got another work event, so you have to
Mm-hmm.
plan that in advance. You can't be last minute with that. And then for us, we like to put our information on our website. So www.soulrollinvitational.com is our official website. We constantly are making changes and updates to the website, having people subscribe, sending out, regular emails, letting everyone know what's going on with the party. You just have to be very, very thorough, and you have to start early. Like, you cannot be last minute when you're planning things, because when you plan too last minute, you run into hurdles, or you can't get the venue that you want because it's booked up. Or let's say you may have to increase your insurance requirements, because now, they say, hey, well, you're going to have this many people, so we need you to have, you know, a larger insurance policy. So a lot of that comes into the planning, and you have to do it in advance. Absolutely have to do it in advance.
I didn't even think about like the insurance aspect of that. Like that's, but it makes sense because you want to make sure that if anybody falls, anybody does something crazy like you, that you're covered. Like I didn't even think about it from an event standpoint.
Yes.
Oh,
Most facilities, if you're gonna use any, well, I can speak for Hillsborough County, and I can speak for Orange County, because I've done a facility rental in Orange County.
hmm.
But they require certain liability insurance limits. So you have to have that, or otherwise they're not gonna grant you the facility usage. Like, they will deny your application.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and that's
Wow.
that's their part. That's their policy. So you have to have insurance for some
Yeah,
stuff.
Andrea putting y'all on game now. This is years in the game. This is how to do a party the right way and then keep yourself covered, man. Like that's
Yes.
I didn't even think about that. That's real business though. That's how things are supposed to be
Hmm.
done. Absolutely. So I mean, not to because I'm just curious. I'm just curious. Not to count pockets or nothing like that. So you don't have to talk about Tampa Soul Roll numbers like on average for a party that is like 3 days long, like what is like the average cost of something like that, because it seems like there's a lot of individual moving pieces and it sounds like that can really add up very quickly. So like what would you say, like on a small scale, on average how much a 3-day party would be in regards to like an output cost?
I would say on the this is the lowest that I could probably think of. The
Hmm.
When I say the lowest, I mean the lowest. I would say 9, 8 or 9 thousand
And that's on the low side.
on the low, on the low.
Okay. All right. That's some good money right there. Okay. All right. So don't be complaining about y'all $20 tickets, y'all. I don't want to. Don't want pay that money up front and do what you got to go do.
I just
That
feel like,
make sure you have a
okay,
good time.
listen, if this is your passion, you're gonna pay to enjoy your passion. Just like my passion is traveling, I'm gonna have to pay if I want to travel. If someone is into music, and they buy instruments or whatever, it's gonna cost you. If you go to a concert, if you want to buy this particular pair of shoes, getting a new iPhone, it's a cost. Nothing is
Hmm.
for free. So we do try to keep some of the events, free. But when it comes to the skating, yes, there is a cost.
Absolutely. I mean, and it's. I think you people really have to stop looking at it from just thinking that they're buying just a ticket to skate. I mean, you're buying an experience, and because there's so much thought and hospitality, at least for the Tampa Soul Roll party, that goes into this whole process. Like if y'all have not been to like the park or like the picnic that we have every year in Tampa Soul Roll, like the food, I
Yeah,
mean,
I
I
always
mean,
talks about the food.
man, we be have you will think it is Sunday dinner. Like we be have I think how many turkeys y'all fried up last year? Like
1 year I think we fried like 7 or 8 turkeys, and
set
actually, one a skater actually donated a turkey
man, listen.
as well. Hmm.
7, 8 turkeys. We got greens and mac and cheese. I don't know who be making that little lemonade tea punch.
Uncle
It's
Titus, Uncle Titus.
it's a little diabetic, but it's good though. It's good. Like it's
Yeah.
well worth it. I promise. You gonna skate it off later,
Hmm.
but it's like it's so much more than just like it's chicken with $20. Like nah, it's an experience that you're having.
Hmm.
So so my for so I guess for the coordinator, especially the newer coordinators in the parties and stuff like that, it's just like I think y'all need to holler at some of the OGs because I think they have that hospitality thing down. And I think that's one of the most important parts because you can have a really dope party, but it can be completely overlooked just by having terrible people that just not greeting
Hmm.
you well or treating you bad, and that those people may not come back because of how they were treated, so on and so forth,
Hmm.
not only from the locals such as the community of Florida community, but also from like the rink owners and stuff like that, because I've heard so many different stories about the rink itself not treating the skaters properly and things along that nature too. So I guess that's the question. So how is that ever been a thing on how like like a meeting amongst rink owners and their rink staff, like please treat our guests in such a way so they can make sure they have a good experience. Is that even a thing?
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's a thing, but there is one thing I do want to educate. And I think some people don't know. These rink owners, they talk to each other. Just like when we go to these skate parties, they be going to these conferences too and
Mm,
saying, whatever it is that they say, or, well, this is what we want to do. I'm not sure if people are familiar with the RSA, but that's real, real popular. One of the Astro rink owner, Chris, he's
mhm.
actually a part of that. He's part of the RSA. They have meetings, they have conferences like same
Roller
thing.
Skating Association, right?
Yes, same thing
Okay.
like what we
Okay.
have, at our skate parks, we have coordinator meetings, like they have rink owner meetings. So they kind of talk about the same thing, just like, we talk about. They talk about, the treatment of the skaters and, some of the issues that have came into their rink because of possibly a party that, someone has done at their rink, or
Mhm.
how their rink was left when people leave. Did they trash the parking lot? Did they, trash the bathrooms? Did they destroy some of their property? Like the same things that we talk about to try to educate our skaters and make sure that they're doing, they talk about that in their conference too, or
Mm.
their meetings as well. So that's something that I do want to put out there so people can be educated. Like, don't think they don't talk about us, because they surely do talk about us, and sometimes it's in a positive way, sometimes it's not so in a positive way. So
Mhm.
I think there's room for improvement on both ends, in my opinion.
Okay. So we got Tampa Soul Roll coming up 2024. First
Yes.
party of the year. Give us a couple details because we're gonna definitely bring you back so we can make sure we give full details on Sample Soul Roll 2024. But just give us a few minor things before we head out.
A little few minor things. We are at a larger venue for the picnic. So
We not
that
at the park no more.
we at a different park, but it's,
What?
yes, it's a nice park, but it's a bigger inside. So
Ah, okay.
um
Okay.
after we all eat, we're gonna be inside, doing games, line dancing. Like the facility is very, very huge. I think the capacity of the gym can hold like 2,000 people.
Oh, so we inside. Okay, that's a good thing too.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
gonna be jamming inside. We're gonna be
Yeah,
jamming
yeah, that's
inside. We're
dope.
gonna be
That's
jamming
dope.
inside. So
It
the
was
picnic,
cold. It was cold last year.
yeah, it was a little cold, but this year, it's going to be inside, and that's one of the things we took into the consideration, because sometimes,
Yeah.
Florida, we get a cold front beyond our control,
Yep.
and so we
Or it
want
rain out of
people.
nowhere.
we want people to be inside just in case we have that, and we don't have to worry about like scrambling to move the venue.
Yeah,
So we
that's
are
smart.
going to be inside. Sunday, just be ready to burn gas because we're just gonna be driving, taking a tour of the city, going down Bayshore, just showing people what Tampa actually looks like. So I know some people might be interested in renting slingshots or jeeps or whatever it is. So make sure you just have that ready because we will be doing it on Sunday. We'll be doing a ride out. So it's gonna be something a little bit
Hey,
different. Just get out and see the city. So that's what we want people to do. Because sometimes people are not always able to do that because of our events. They come to all our events, but
yeah,
this year coming up, we're doing something different. We're just gonna, do a ride out. That's what
that's
we're
gonna be
doing.
dope. That's dope. I like that idea.
Yeah. So
Because
it's gonna be
Tampa it has beautiful scenery, and then on
yes.
top of that, like if y'all like to eat, Tampa is a move too.
We
They
got some good eateries, good
it's like
authentic eateries. Yes.
a southern brunch capital. I'm not even gonna hold you. Like they have a lot of dope hidden spots and just
Yeah.
local spots that are fire. So
Yeah.
definitely take it if you have a chance to. So what's the dates for Tampa Soul Roll this year?
January 10th through the 15th.
We got 5 days.
Well, Wednesday is our Wednesday is our normal session. The actual Tampa Soul Roll party starts on Thursday, but
Okay.
Wednesday is our local session, so we kind of incorporated that in. We're gonna see if people can hang. So, but yes, we're starting on
Ooh-wee.
Wednesday.
My legs
We
hurt.
got people coming in on Wednesday.
My
Like it's a whole
legs
bunch
hurt.
of people
Oh,
coming in
we
on
got
Wednesday.
we got. I know the flyer out, but who some of the DJs coming this year though?
So
I know you
we
said
got
I know I already heard jamming already, so I'm
yes,
excited.
jamming.
Shout out to
Yeah.
jamming. That's my
DJ
dog.
jamming.
That's my
So
dog. I love jamming.
yes, jamming and freestyle will be on Friday. Arson is on Saturday, and Naya and Fanatic are on Sunday.
Oh,
So
Tampa homebodies. Okay,
yeah,
all right.
well, Florida homebodies for the closeout for Sunday. We want to make sure we support some of our local DJs. So that way they can get a chance to showcase their talents and spotlight. So they are going on Sunday.
Oh man, listen, I'm excited. I feel like this is gonna be really dope because it's been better every year since I've been going. Tampa Soul Roll was like my first national party. And the crazy part about Tampa Soul Roll is before I knew what skate parties and stuff were. So I thought it was just like everybody's like, yeah, we're going to Tampa on Friday, Saturday, Sunday just to go skate. And I was just like, all right, never had a 3 day skate event before. Like this should be dope. Like, all right, so
Yes.
y'all barbecuing. Oh, it's this okay. This a party. Oh, this is going to 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
This ain't the first and third Saturday. What
No,
we got?
we skate from midnight to 5 on Saturday.
Man, listen. And then that whole thing happened. I was like, listen, I'm hooked. I'm hooked. And that's when I started finding about the other skate parties and stuff like that. I was like,
Hmm.
oh, so this is like a thing. This is a
Yes, this
cultural
is a
thing.
real thing.
Oh
This is
my
a
goodness.
thing. Yes.
Man, well, I definitely appreciate all that you do. I don't know if you hear it enough or you hear it too much, but
Oh,
you hear
thank
from
you. I
me.
appreciate it.
Because I know there's a lot of work that goes into the event. And I see like if y'all ever pay attention to her Instagram and look at her story, and not only is she all around the world, but she be at you could like I'm going to Dallas, I'm going to Houston, I'm going to New York, I'm going to Jersey. She be at every skate party. I don't know how her legs still work, but it's very impressive. So make sure that y'all follow her on Instagram at Andrea Money underscore 813. Make sure you follow the Tampa
Tampa
Soul
Soul
Roll
Roll.
page and make sure for this the can they buy tickets now to Tampa Soul
Yeah,
Roll?
they can buy them online. The VIP passes, some of them are available online. We
Okay.
have a 3 day and we also have a 4 day VIP pass. And they could buy their tickets online as well. So I would suggest hurry up and getting it as soon as you possibly can.
Okay. Well, before we head out, is there anything else you want to leave with the people?
The only thing I want to leave with the people is that, there's always going to be some type of change in the skate community. And you have to make sure that you're bringing positive energy and be on the side of providing solutions. Don't always come with your negative energy and no solutions, because no solutions lead to nothing. So bring positive energy, bring good solutions, and always remember, change sometimes it can always be for the better.
Man, I can't close that out any better, man. So make sure y'all go follow Skate Addict TV. We ride, we vibe, and we party. And I'll see y'all next week. Ahaaaa!